Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about your evidence-based practice project, your EBP project. We're going to break down those assignment guidelines and really turn them into a simple, step-by-step roadmap for you.
Okay, let's be real. Have you ever been here? A huge project is staring you down, the deadline's creeping up, and you're just looking at a blank page. It feels massive, I know, but trust me, we can break it down.
So in this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to turn that blank page into a project you can be proud of, a top-grade project, piece by piece. And our secret weapon? We're going to use your grading rubric as our guide. By the end of this, you'll have a super clear plan to get started and nail every single point. You ready? Let's do it.
All right, so where do we even begin this whole thing? It's probably not where you think. You don't need to start by frantically searching the library. Nope, it starts with something you already have, your own experience. Your entire project has to be built on a real, actual clinical problem.
I mean, look at this. This is literally pulled straight from your assignment guidelines. Your instructors aren't looking for some abstract theoretical paper. They want you to look at your day-to-day work, the frustrations, the things that aren't working right, the questions you're always asking yourself, and build your project from that. Honestly, grounding your project in the real world makes it so much more relevant, and frankly, a lot more interesting for you to actually write.
Okay, so once you've got a problem in your head, the very next step is to shape it into a question. But, and this is a big but, it's not just any question. We need to create what's called a PICO question. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this is probably the single most important sentence you are going to write for this entire assignment. It's the blueprint for everything else. So what is this PICOT thing? Well, you can think of it like a formula. Or maybe a better way to put it is, it's like a focusing lens for your research. It takes a big, broad problem and helps you narrow it down into something really specific, something you can actually find answers to. It basically forces you to define exactly who you're talking about, what you're trying to do, and what you hope to see happen.
All right, let's break down the acronym. It's actually pretty simple. P stands for your patient, population, or the problem you're focused on. I is for the intervention, the new thing you're proposing. C is the comparison. What are you comparing your intervention against? The status quo, maybe? O is for the outcome you're hoping to see, and it has to be measurable. And finally, T is the time frame. To make a really strong question, you have to have a clear answer for every single one of these letters.
So why am I making such a big deal about this one question? Well, look at this. It's worth a whopping 10 points on your rubric. That's a full quarter of your grade for this first part of the project, all riding on this one sentence. Seriously, putting in the extra time right here is the best investment you can make for your final grade. No question. Okay, now that you've got your powerful PICOT question, it's time to build the story around it. This is the main body of your paper, and it's made up of 3 key parts: the background, the purpose, and the significance. And the absolute best way to tackle these is to think of yourself as a storyteller.
Yeah, think about it like a classic story arc. The background section, that's you setting the scene. What's the problem right now? Paint a picture for the reader. The purpose? That's the plot of your story. You're clearly stating what this project is setting out to do. And the significance? That's the moral of the story. The so what? Why does any of this matter to the field of nursing? See? It all flows together.
And if you're wondering where to put most of your energy, the rubric spells it out for you. Just look at this. The background section is worth 10 points. That's just as much as your entire PICO question. This is where you really need to dig in with details, context, and evidence. The purpose and significance sections are super important, yeah, but they're a bit more concise. The real heavy lifting is going to happen in that background.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about something that might feel like a small detail but can make a huge difference to your grade. I'm talking about the professional polish of your paper, your formatting, and just basic writing mechanics. Honestly, you should think of these as the easiest points you can possibly get.
So your rubric splits this into 2 areas. First up, you've got APA format. This is non-negotiable. You need a perfect title page, your in-text citations have to be correct, and your reference list needs to be flawless. The other side of this is writing mechanics. This just means proofreading, checking for grammar mistakes, spelling errors, and wonky punctuation. It's all about making sure your communication is crystal clear and professional. And here's why you should care. Together, APA format and writing mechanics are worth another 10 points. That's another quarter of your grade. Seriously, just a few extra minutes of careful proofreading could be the difference between a B and an A. Don't just leave those points on the table. They're yours for the taking.
The single best tool you have for this whole project is the grading rubric.
It's not some secret code your instructor is hiding from you. It's basically an open book test. It tells you exactly what an A paper looks like. So let's crack it open and see what it says.
Just check out the language here. For the top score, you see words like complete, well-developed, successfully accomplished. Now compare that to a lower score, which uses phrases like attempted, lacks depth or clarity. See the difference? It's not enough to just do a section. You have to do it well. It's all about the depth and the detail.
So here it is, the whole assignment laid out for you like a checklist. You can see all 40 points are broken down into just 6 categories, but pay super close attention to the 2 big ones, the heavy hitters at 10 points each, your PICO question and your background section. If you can master those 2, you are already halfway to a perfect score. Seriously.
And if we want to simplify it even more, just look at it this way. Your grade basically comes from 4 equal chunks. 25% is your PICO question, 25% is your background, 25% is your purpose and significance combined, and the last 25% is that professional polish, the APA and writing stuff. If you can knock it out of the park in these 4 areas, you're going to ace this assignment.
Okay, so let's wrap this up with a quick game plan. Your 4 keys to an A+ project. Number 1, start with a real clinical problem you've actually seen. Number 2, spend serious time crafting that perfect 10-point PICO question. Number 3, tell a clear story that flows from your background all the way to why it matters. And number 4, use that rubric like it's your personal checklist to make sure you've grabbed all 40 points.
Look, at the end of the day, this assignment isn't just about getting a good grade. It's really the first step in training yourself to be a leader in your field, someone who sees a problem and then uses evidence to find a real solution. So the real question isn't just, what am I going to write about? It's, what problem in my practice am I going to solve first? You've got this. Good luck.